All right. Let's give it a minute here. How many people we got going on here? All right. I was wondering if I had it on the right setting or not. Yeah, welcome to GoldiBox. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Setting up a podcast here in my van, and it's going to be fun doing cable management in here once I figure out the setup. And but yeah, anyway, GoldiBox. Recent developments, I guess, solidified her name or his name. As some of you know, checking my mic here. Let's do this here first. Let's check. Well, anyway, something went wrong, it says. But it also says I'm live. And nobody's watching. That's all right. I wish I could figure out this audio thing here to make sure I'm actually using. See, I got it hooked up right here. All right. Anyway, yeah, GoldiBox came along. So as some of you, if you're new to life adjustments, I'm Jason. I've been doing this a while. The channel, but it's mainly just to keep my friends and family updated on what the hell I was doing in life and stuff. But yeah, anyway, I'm in corporate staging, so I put together rock and roll shows inside of resort ballrooms. But I over the last few years, I've been making the transition to so I got into some other time, but I started building the van out, and the original idea with the van was I was gonna whatever storm I work. So we make really good money when we work a hurricane or something like that, like 2 months work, and I'll pay the van off. And so I always was saying, all right, whichever storm pays my van off, that will be the name of the van. Well, last year it was almost Milton. The van almost became Milton. It's a whole nother story, but the Milton didn't work out for me. Knock on some wood there. But yeah, anyway, so one of the other things I do is I invest in the OTC when I have extra cash and stuff like that. And I ended up coming across from a good friend of mine, turned me on to Dateline Resources way back when it first hit the OTC. And my wife and I got a few shares. Not, of course, not as many as I want, but I got more than I made some sacrifices to make sure I picked up cheap shares, and I'll pay shit back later on. But yeah, anyway, so GoldiBox came along. One of my followers probably a year ago was like, "Hey, that'd be a great name for your van, GoldiBox." And I was like, "Yeah, we'll see." Well, Dateline came along, and I could pay the van off right now if I wanted to. Of course, I'm going to let it ride. Tough day in the market for Dateline shareholders, but hey, man, it had to pull back at some point. And so, yeah, this is basically the test run on my whole podcast setup in here. This is a rock and roll bed. It flips out into a bed, and got my desk here, a little kitchen galley and stuff like that. But it's a work in progress. I'm not quite there. This is going to be aromatic cedar up closer to where you guys are at there in the camera. I'm going to have a vent like right here. I'm I'm going to put a little wood burning stove and vent it out the side door eventually. But yeah, just one little project at a time. But I've been wanting to do this podcast setup for a long time. And now I'm getting ready to go up to the Coliseum mine. And I don't know if any of y'all paying attention to the weather, but there's a hurricane in the Pacific coming up, the Baja Priscilla, that could throw a wrench into this weekend. I was supposed to leave early Saturday morning and get up to the mine, and I want to spend all day romping around. I need to find some good vantage points for taking videos. I want shots, so I'll be there overnight somewhere. I'll find a place to hunker down for the evening in the van, and I really want to do a live stream from the Coliseum. Now, any of you that have watched any of the YouTube videos, there's a lot of YouTube videos on the Coliseum gold mine, and they go back like 7-10 years. I found one that was 14 years old, back when they could go all the way down into the pit. And so if you look at my Twitter account, some of the older Dateline stuff, I was posting some photographs, and that's all snipped from watching YouTube videos. And I don't know, whoever's here following along, if you were paying attention to Aussie Trader or whatever. I had been posting a lot of stuff back then, and I eventually just whatever. I want to go up there myself. But yeah, so I'm going up Saturday morning. We'll see how it pans out. If the road's washed out because of the rain, if you look at the weather, it's supposed to really hit like Friday. So Saturday, we'll see if I can make it up there or not. Now, my van isn't 4-wheel drive, but I've taken it on some pretty gnarly Arizona forest roads. And so if it gets to that point, then, hey, if I got to turn around, I got to turn around and come back some other weekend. I don't live that far away, probably about a 4-hour drive. And I love going out in the van. So if I have to postpone it, I would postpone it until next weekend or something like that. But yeah, so that's the plan. I'm going to be headed up. I'll get off work Friday. I'll go home and prep out the van, take a nap, and hit the road early. And we'll go from there. So yeah, I want to find a couple of good places while I'm there to be able to get a vantage point. Like, I'm trying to imagine what it's going to be like 5 years from now. Will whatever vantage points that I'm going to hit Saturday still be there next year or in 6 months? Or, it depends on how fast their plan unfolds. But I need to find a place off away that I know is not going to get taken out by mining. So I'll get the lay of the land, but I want to catch the sunset and the sunrise and do some video stuff with that. And of course, I'm going to try to get some shots of the pit and any kind of drill rigs or anything like that. Now, I emailed Steven, and he put me in touch with the manager of the mine, and there's too much going on at the mine. So that's a no. I thought I had lofty dreams. I thought, wow, yeah, I'll go get down in there, do a live from the pit, No, it'd be too much of a liability to have somebody go in there. And let's face it, I'm an amateur content creator. So how would that look on the big picture if they allowed someone like me to go in the restricted area to get some photos, some video? The optics wouldn't be good in the bigger picture of it all. So After talking with a couple of friends about it, I decided that, no, I'm not going to push that. Why? And now, they're putting out the photos that I'd be wanting to get anyway. So I'm not really concerned about that. But there are areas where I can get up above the rim and point down in there and get some good shots. Now, everything I've watched on YouTube, it wasn't coming from our perspective. It wasn't coming from what a shareholder would like to see. So that's going to be interesting to be able to point out things that I've been looking for. Like, I want to see how can I get up there easily in my van? It's a two-wheel van, and I've taken it on some gnarly roads. But if I can't make it up there in the van, then they have a lot of improvements to do on the roadway, which is kind of a known. And if, of course, those of you that are following close along with the progression, things are happening fast. So I don't think money is not going to be an issue when it comes to road improvements and buying essential equipment and things like that. And I'm very pleased with what they're doing. But so that's my overall plan, man. I'm going to keep building this van. I've got about $20,000 more to spend on this van to get it to where I originally want it. Like, I'm looking for an AC system, a mini split system, and a nice marine grade freezer, refrigerator combo, stuff like that. But I put my whole van build on hold because of this opportunity. And that was 3 months ago when I made the decision, like, I got to stop spending money on my van and start putting everything I can into Dateline and a few others. And I'm glad I did, because, all is well in OTC land. Anyway, so this is season 1, episode 1 of GoldiBox. I appreciate you stopping by. Be sure to hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Throw down some comments on X or whatever, and tell me what you think, or what you would do if you were in my shoes. And I look forward to headed up there and grabbing some really cool content. All right, we'll catch you on the next one.